Okay, before we move on to minor chords, let's do a recap of where we are and how we got here. I told you that music theory can help you play any song, and I'm trying to show you that. I picked the song She Loves You by the Beatles. Great song, not extremely complicated, but genius, just like so many of the things that they did, especially for 1963. So anyway, I like that song. I've never played it before. I'd like to learn how to play it. So I went to the computer, got the chord sheet in the way that I showed you, looked at the chords and realized I need to know these chords in order to play this song. And that's why we delved into chord theory. We started with major chords, and I showed you all the details about how to build a major chord. Because we need to know how to play chords to read that chord sheet. So the process took a while to get through, and when we got done we realized, oh okay, we can build every major chord there is. And at first it seems kind of daunting because there are 17 different named major chords, but then you realize 5 of them are just enharmonics. It's the same name, a different name for the same chord. You know, like C sharp is really D flat. So really there aren't 17 different ones to learn, there's only 12 different ones to learn. And then when you start looking at that, you go, well, it'd be easier to just learn the 7 white ones and then just either raise them a half step to get the sharp or lower it a half step to get the flat. So that cuts it down from 17 to 12 to 7. And then you realize, well, wait a minute, all I really need to know is one chord, because the relationship among the 3 notes in all the chords is always the same. And that relationship is we stack a major third and then a minor third to create a major chord. So in the key of C, it's just C, E, and G, 1, 3, and 5, the first note of the scale, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. And that creates a major chord. So if we could do that with any note that we start with, we can build all of the major chords just that easily. So it wouldn't matter if it was D or D flat or G flat, whatever we wanted to build, we just stack a major third and a minor third. And remember that a major third is 4 semitones and a minor third is 3 semitones. And another word for semitone is half tone. So if you just pick, like in the key of C, pick C and then count 1, 2, 3, 4 notes ahead of that, you'll get to E. That's 4 half steps. And then count 3 notes ahead of that, you'll get to G. And that's 3 semitones from E. Put that together, you've got a C major chord. So if you really think about it, it boils down to just one thing you have to know. You have to know how to build a major chord. And that's the easiest way I can think of to tell you is a major third plus a minor third. Or if you just want to think of it as 1, 3, and 5, that's probably the easiest. So when you think major chord, just think 1, 3, and 5. Pick up a C scale, which is just all the white notes between 2 C's. Pick the 1, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th notes of that scale. That's a major chord. That's major C. Count the number of semitones in between it if you can't remember that it's 4 and 3. And you can build any major chord you want that way. So this is why music theory is more like, you know, that old saying about you teach a man how to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. So if I teach you how to build a major chord, you can build every major chord you want. So then we can go back to our chord sheet and we can figure out how to play those chords that make up that cool song, She Loves You. So the next thing I want to do is just quickly go back to that chord sheet and show you how to build the major chords that are found in that to try to bring it back to some relevance to what we're doing before we move forward. As I said, the song She Loves You by the Beatles has 4 major chords in it, 4 different major chords. There's a G, there's an A C, and a D. Now the A and the D have a little 7 after them, and I'll explain what that means later. But for now, we'll just treat them as if they were just a major triad, 3-note chord, and we know how to do that now. Remember, whatever the chord name is, that's the note you start on, and then you just stack a major third, and a minor third, and you've got the chord. So we're going to do that right now. We'll start with G. I'll write it in blue so you can see the part that I'm adding. Starting with G, we go to the piano and we play a G. Then we count up 4 half tones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next note, the note that we hit is B. Then we count up 3 half tones. 1, 2, 3. And the note we hit is D. And that is a G major chord, so I'm going to write that down. It's G plus B plus D. Okay, the next one is A, 7, but we'll ignore the 7 for now. In fact, I'll put that in parentheses to show we're just going to work with the major part of it. Okay, A major. Okay, we go to A. There's A. Then we count up 4 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that puts us to C sharp. And then we count up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that puts us up to E. So then we write that down. We got A, C sharp, and E. Okay, the next one is C. We already know that one. I won't bore you with that. It's C, E, and G. It couldn't be any easier. It's the white keys on the keyboard in 1, 3, and 5. The next one is D, and we'll ignore the little 7 up there for now. So we go to the D, and we count up 4 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, or half tones they're also called. Oh, and then count up 3. 1, 2, 3. So that takes us to A. So we've got D, F sharp, and A. So I'll write that down. D, F sharp, and A. And that's it. We've now got the 4 major chords that are used in the song She Loves You. And after you've been doing this for a while, you don't have to go through all that. You just have them memorized. Here's G, here's A, here's C, and here's D. And I don't have to think about it, and my fingers are already in that position. I mean, you've been doing this long enough to know that, that basic finger position doesn't change much when you're playing a major triad. And you could do it with your left hand. There's G, there's A, there's C, and there's D. So that's an example of how you would use music theory, that is, how to build a major chord, to figure out the chords to play with the song She Loves You. And that's a review of what we did up to date and why we did it. Now the next thing is, the song has a lot of minor chords in it, so I want to show you how to build minor chords. But minor chords are just a variation on major chords. So once you understand major chords, you'll see that minor chords are very easy to build.